Those are my favorite expired listings because I don't have to do anything except...
So the big question is, what are top agents doing to absolutely crush it in real estate, grow their teams and add more transactions year over year while so many struggle? To get the answers, we interview top real estate agents to learn their secrets to success. Listen, we believe every agent should make a minimum of $100,000 per year, and we're on a mission to make this happen. We've already helped over 100 agents achieve this with our coaching. So if you want to fast track your business growth, get to your first $100,000 in GCI or add another $100,000 in GCI using social strategies, then head over to go.eliteagentsecrets.com, or you can just click the link in the description below. Also, just make sure to follow us, hit that subscribe button, and if you get any value from this at all, please tell a friend and leave us a review. My name is Andrew Dunn.
And my name is Peter Michael. Welcome to Elite Agent Secrets.
We'll dive into your third and final topic. It's a bit more of a fun one, but it's kind of like in your mind how it is to be successful in real estate, the things that are really important for everyone listening if you want to go out there and crush it. I know we're kind of joking about this. I'm sure you've got some more to it, but start us off with your story, Jeff.
Yeah, so this came really when I started in a building literally on the end of a 6-foot table, and it was a crappy 6-foot table in a crappy building with the brokerage I'm here to C21. They then built a building right next to it, and they're walking through like, Jeff, you're doing really well. Like, what do you need over here? And like, they kept pulling me in all these meetings. And finally I was like, guys, I don't want to fucking meet anymore. Like, you're taking me away from selling houses to putting me in these meetings to talk about what I want in the building. And I was like, give me two things. I was like, give me coffee and give me internet. That's all I need in the entire place, and I'll be successful. And it really is all it comes down to. I think we chase all these little shiny pennies, and we're like, oh, well, this new thing and this new thing is going to be the new thing, kind of like what you were talking about, is going to be that new thing that's going to get you there. My senior year of high school, I had a bunch of buddies that wrestled, so I got into wrestling, and literally, I think I'd had maybe 3-4 weeks of practice before my first match, and I went out and in like 8 seconds I pinned the guy, and they're like, "How the fuck did you do that?" And I was like, "All I know one move," and I really knew one move, and I put him in it, and I held him and pinned him and won. Well, then I get into the second, third, fourth match, and they're like, "Well, try this move, try this move, try this move," and like you're talking about, like you immediately kind of get distracted by all these things. Well, I started losing at that point. And the coach was like, so what do you need to do? I was like, I want to work on that one fucking thing that worked. And so once you get back to the basics and really all the fundamentals that you need, you don't need this, and you don't need social media. You don't need all this other stuff that everybody pushes. You literally just need to get on the phones, and you need coffee to wake up, because I sure as hell need that. And so if you wake up and you're ready to go first thing in the morning and you just open your computer, everything we need is on a computer. And granted, like I'd say that I use Vulcan 7, so I've got all the programs on the computer to do it. But as long as you've got that and a phone, you can really do anything you want to do in this business.
I love how simple you're making it too, because when we joked around on this topic, it's like everything you need to be successful. I know people are going to be like, wait, it can't be that simple. It can't be that easy. Well, it really is. You got basically what I'm taking away is you got to find the things that are working for you. And instead of thinking of why they can't work, is you got to start asking of how I can use them to my advantage. How can I make them work?
It's just doing the work. Just do the fucking work. Yeah.
Right.
If coffee's not your thing and Red Bull, replace the coffee with the Red Bull. But you still need a connection. You still need a computer. So it's the same shit.
Yep.
But you still need to do the work.
They'll ask me early on, they're like, okay, so, how do you go about going on these appointments? Would you go on this appointment? Would you do this? And my first question is, well, how many appointments did you go on last month? And they're like, well, I went on 4 appointments. And I'm like, fucking go. I was like, if you literally have 4 appointments a day and you're trying to figure out, do I want to go on number 5 or not? Then you start weeding out all the other ones. But if you only went on 4 appointments in the entire month, I'm like, what did you do the other 40 hours of the week? Because that literally, you weren't doing anything else. So I think a lot of us kind of overanalyze everything, and we think, what do I need to be doing? Literally get on the phone, set appointments, and go on the appointment. For agents, I always think your first 3, 4, 5 years sometimes is preseason, and we need to treat it that way. Literally just go and practice. Like even, you want to practice your scripts and your role playing and stuff like that, not in front of the client, but at the same time, just go and practice. And you're literally going to learn, I did this. You're going to get that confidence booster of I protected my commission. I did whatever I needed to do. I overcame that objection, and that literally just carries forward into the next deal. And so a lot of agents, they'll be like, well, I've sold now 60 deals a year for the past 6 years. And I'm like, why the hell did you do that? Like, you've had 5 years more worth of practice times 60 deals. Why are you still doing 60 deals? Like, you should always be getting better because you're practicing more and doing more.
It's interesting. I've heard you say this a few times now, protecting my commission. What do you mean? What do you mean by that? Can you help us define it?
Yeah. So a lot of agents, as we know, like, they'll go in and they'll sell something for nothing. So yeah, I'll do it for 4%. They're really just to beat the other agent. I get beat on commission probably 5 or 10 times a year because the only thing I'll list for like any price tag house is 6% on it. And then what I did during the COVID timeframe, because as we all know, the challenge for the last year and a half has not been the skill of unlocking a door. It's been the skill of getting a listing. And so you really need to be the one rewarded for that. And you need to be the one out doing what you need to do to get it sold. And so when COVID kicked in, I started listing properties at 6% and giving buyers agents 2.5%. Well, the majority of a lot of agents kind of balk at that. And they're like, why, how could you do that? And I'm like, look at your MLS. I bet 80% of your listings in your MLS, the agent can't get more than 5%. So they're literally walking out of the appointment with a 5% listing anyway, giving away 2.5%. So if I can walk in and show the value of how I'm going to help a client put more money in their pocket at 6%, but I've had now, I don't know, every other month I feel like I'm doing one. But one I just put under contract last week was on the market with another agent through September at $950,000. I brought it on at $995, and we were under contract in 2.5 weeks at $990. But it really is a case of just from a negotiating for them, exact same house, no changes to it. But I marketed it correctly, got the right person in the door, because she was marketing it as a 4,000 square foot house. Well, it's sitting on 2.5 acres, which is similar to you guys, a lot of land when you're getting in an area like this. And so I said, we got to push the estate side of it. So we literally pushed the lot size. We got the right people in the door. They were willing to pay the price tag. And even though the seller didn't want to list for $950 again, I told her $975. She wanted $1 million. I said $995, and then got her to settle out at $990. But the poor buyers, they could have bought it back in September for $40,000 or more less because they couldn't even get an offer at $950. So you got to know your worth and you got to protect it.
It's interesting how you said that you marketed the property correctly, which means you've obviously done your homework. You know the market. Do you find that a lot of agents are, mismarket properties, and that's why they're sitting on the market for so long? Because I mean, yes, the market has gone up, but you literally took it, you turned around the next day, you listed it for hire and got it sold.
Those are my favorite expired listings because I don't have to do anything except be smarter than the last agent. And that's pretty easy to do. So you really, if you kind of look at it and you're like, okay, well, what did they do? And no, and granted, like selling 900 houses in 10 years, I've been in a lot of the neighborhoods. I've seen a lot of the houses. But another good example is one from February of last year. The house was right next to, it was on a yacht basin, but right next to dry stacks with forklifts. And I had 3 or 4 buyers that would say, oh, that looks beautiful. I love looking at the boats and the boat slips. And I was like, you don't want to see it. You've told me what you want. There's literally just 10 stories of dry stacks next to it and a big forklift. I was like, you want quiet. You told me you want quiet. So we got into the house. So then the listing expired with, I think it was 3 agents went through that one. That was at $750. I brought it on at $775. We had 13 showings in 3 days, went under contract at $800. They got like a $20,000 or $30,000 non-refundable deposit. Came back on the market when the buyer walked away round 1. We went under contract, multiple offers again at $811. And so they ended up getting $833 in their pocket. And last agent couldn't get an offer at $750. And so it's really a matter of, I knew the aerial shot had to be right next to the dry stacks because you want to get a boater in there. And when the boater wants to be in an environment like that of a yacht club and that kind of setting, they don't care about the noise. Like they literally want to be around other boaters and in that environment. So you can try to hide it all day long, go saying, oh, this is nice and peaceful. All you're doing is just slitting your own wrist. And the listing is going to expire and I'm going to come in and sell it.
So please try and tell everyone it's peaceful and then let Jeff know so you can go and sell it for more. Jeff, this has been amazing. I want to give you the floor. If people want to get in touch, whether they want to buy or sell a home, whether they want to join your team, whatever else you got going on, whether it's phone, email, socials, how can people get in touch with you to learn a bit more?
Absolutely. So the easiest contact details, again, is Jeff Leslie in Wilmington, North Carolina. My email address is jlesley.c21@gmail.com. That's jleslie.c21@gmail. Phone number 910-297-7071. Feel free to reach out anytime. And the website is www.wilmingtonstopagent.com. So any of those methods, you can reach me anytime.
I mean, the website makes it pretty clear, guys.
Well,
Everyone listening, the website's pretty fucking clear.
Fun fact, I got that my second year in the business because that's where I set my goal to. And I got it year 2, and first couple years, it is. I told people, they were like, what is that website? And I was like, well, I have the top customer service in our market. And then turned it worked.
I love it. Jeff, thank you so much for being on today's show. Everyone, I hope you've enjoyed listening. Jeff's dropped some bombs for you. Go out, do some work, and we will see you in the next one. Oh, and by the way, if you're listening to this and you aren't making over $100,000 per year in GCI and you're looking for a predictable system to get you there, then head over to go.eliteagentsecrets.com.